Hello, this is your September 11 edition of InfoHub. Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is scheduled to be in Guyana tomorrow, and we begin by telling you that Guyana and the Twin Island Republic will sign an MOU and what is called a framework agreement for mutual cooperation in several areas. More from Stacey Carmichael.
During a press conference on Monday, Minister Greenidge announced that the MOU and framework agreement will be signed with Trinidad and Tobago shortly. In light of the recent misinterpretations in sections of the media, MOUs, the minister clarified, are statements of intent which deal with general principles and understanding that the countries will collaborate on general trade matters and is not by itself binding. Minister Greenidge said the MOU and framework agreement that will be signed are no different from any other, reminding that under the previous government an MOU was signed with Trinidad in 1999.
The MOU in relation to Trinidad and Tobago and the framework agreement no different from any of the others. As a matter of fact, in 1999, as we've indicated before, in 1999, the governments of the two countries signed an MOU. It was a 10-year MOU. It was signed and no riot occurred, no sector was destroyed, there was no apocalypse, and I'm sure that this will not happen on this occasion either. All right? And the same thing applies to the MOU in relation to the Belt and Road project. These are MOUs, and they're no more than that.
In response to a question posed by the media, Minister Greenidge said the agreement between Trinidad and Venezuela, which has laid claims to Guyana's territory, has no implications for Guyana, boundary-wise. Notwithstanding the relationship between Trinidad and Venezuela, commercial and otherwise, the minister does not believe this will hinder Guyana's relation with Trinidad.
Guyana's resources as now discovered, unearthed by the consortium of Exxon, Hess, and CNOOC are a massive quantity of resources, both in terms of gas and in terms of petroleum itself. I think that the opportunities for developing these unhampered by arrangements or developments that take place elsewhere are very great. In other words, you have enough resources to allow you to be of commercial interest to all of our neighbors and all potential partners. You have enough in terms of volume and in terms of the range of resources. So that means that we have the opportunity for collaborating with others without being somehow constrained.
For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Thank you for that report, Stacey. The Department of Citizenship is considering the issue of the settlement of Venezuelan migrants in the Mabaroom area. Minister Winston Felix said that he is reviewing the recommendation for private land to be sought to set up the settlement. A decision has not yet been made, but the matter is under active consideration. The Civil Defense Commission is spearheading relief efforts and last week conducted an outreach at Cans Hill where food hampers were distributed to 24 migrant families, while another 46 families received hammocks and hygiene supplies at Whitewater Village. The committee is also working to establish a database of all Venezuelan migrants and to ensure they are screened and vaccinated upon arrival at various ports of entry. With Budget 2019 just over 2 months away, Finance Minister Winston Jordan is backing local businesses. He today committed to helping the expansion of local businesses while visiting Sterling Products Limited. Here are the details.
The minister was given a tour of the company's operations at Providence on the east bank of the Marara. The visit provided a better appreciation of some of the challenges and issues facing the company, according to the finance minister.
I think we get a better understanding. Some on the spot we can solve, and some we have to go and convince colleagues and so on. But at the end of the day, let us say that before I came you had zero, but afterwards you have hopes of moving from zero.
Minister Jordan added that he got a better understanding of what the company was producing and how it can be supported, especially with its buy local effort.
Very often I don't see the commitment there, and the private sector, which should be a paragon here, they themselves are some of the culprits in not buying local. We at our level at Cabinet, we have signaled that wherever something exists locally, it should have to be forced on. You know, all of our printing, government printing is done now at Guyana national printers to the extent that they can do it. But they have, of course, preference on printing. Otherwise, they will go to the local before they could do it. So,
explaining that oil revenues will have a part to play in diversifying the economy, Minister Jordan said that in this year's budget, he hopes to reflect, like previous ones, initiatives to support the local manufacturing sectors.
But it's my second visit, 50 years apart. I was forced here in 1967, and I passed here many times, of course, but this is my second visit, roughly 50 years afterwards. And I really like what I saw today. There's a lot going on in this in these premises, and I like what I'm hearing also about the expansion plans. And I can commit now to you that the government will support you in your expansion and in your drive to expand your markets and to improve your efficiency and cost of production.
Sterling Products is a leading manufacturer and marketer of food products and cleaning agents for local and international markets. Similar visits are planned by the Minister to banks, DIH, and other local manufacturers. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Hello, sir. You can't be smoking with passengers in the car. I got me little child in there. I mean, I can't smoke in your own car.
You know it's against the law for taxi drivers and minibus drivers to smoke, especially when you got a child under 16 in the car.
If you don't like it, go come out my car, man.
Just to let you know, the law states that even if you're in a car alone, you can't smoke because the fumes can get into the fabric and affect your passengers.
Let's all work together to prevent cigarette smoking related illnesses.
The meetings were held with the Private Sector Commission and Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association. Minister Jordan says he is pleased with the tone and pace of the consultations. Paul McAdam has been following these consultations. Here is his report.
The Minister and his budget team met with the Private Sector Commission and the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association, respectively.
I like the positive attitude of the private sector. I perhaps know what is perhaps bringing it, and I'm happy. For the first time, I've seen the private sector, for example, in the Private Sector Commission, actually telling us that they're prepared to do certain things, and they said publicly that they're willing to support us. Particularly the local content one, that was for me a bit surprising, given what we will be hearing. But that is a real positive development. I also like the whole tone of these discussions. They are more engaging.
Minister Jordan described the consultations as a meeting of the minds.
There's a bigger willingness of the private sector to engage with the government, and we have stressed this public-private partnership in a number of ways with the private sector, with the Private Sector Commission. We've worked with the Guyana Manufacturing Services Association. In fact, this is the only body that we have round tables going. And as you could have seen, it has worked very well for them. They've got quite a few benefits. I'm looking to see more benefits for them in the upcoming budget. Some of them we can work with, others we perhaps will work around and tinker with.
The day's consultations began with a presentation from the PSC led by Chairman Desmond Sears. Sears said that a priority for the Commission was the formulation of local content policy, particularly within the oil and gas industry.
We're asking the Minister to maybe speak to the Minister of Business to accelerate the process. In other words, you can always change. It could be an evolving policy. You could always make changes as you go down the road, but we would want before 2019, especially before oil production, that we have a local government policy, local content policy, which would more or less set the stage for locals to participate in the oil and gas industry.
The GSMA's consultations followed, with executives making cases for tax relief in several sectors and the expansion of the tax net in others. There were also calls for revised legislation and the need for the Guyana Revenue Authority to monitor overseas companies for the possible dumping of cheaper products, which could be detrimental to local manufacturers. Requests were also made for more government support towards the hosting and expansion of the Uncapped Expo, which has been a success since being implemented. Budget 2019 consultations continue on September 12th at the Finance Ministry's boat room. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
The Indian Immigration Monument will be set up before the end of the year. Construction of the base at Palmyra Village just across the Berbice Bridge has commenced and is progressing smoothly. Renata Lafleur was in Berbice and tells us more.
The work on the monument is divided into 8 lots. These include construction of the monument's base and podium, a walkway, landscaping details, internal drainage, roadway, lighting, visitors gallery, security hut, and fencing. MOPI's Clerk of Works, Elroy Haynes.
We already have the foundation in, we have the curb wall, now we're doing the stairs and the first floor slab. Now we plan to get that done by Thursday, Friday. And from there, we would go on the second floor. That's the floor to actually bear the monument. So hopefully we should get that in by actually end of the month.
With funding for its completion coming from the Government of India, the project is expected to be finished in early November. Haynes said lots 1 and 2 are almost completed.
We have lot 3 on board also. Lot 3 which entails the fence, the fencing. Now to date we already got the eastern section, the southern section. Got it in. Not fully complete. Those 2 sections like about basically like 60 to 70% complete. And we have some more fine work to do there. And then we got the other 2 sections, which is the northern section and the western section. That is where we will start working on in due course.
The monument is sculpted in bronze and is a visual representation of ordinary Indian people in routine everyday life. Renata Lafleur for InfoHub.
And finally, tourism and health program are in focus. Delicia Haynes explains.
The Ministries of Public Health and Business are collaborating with the Caribbean Public Health Agency to place more emphasis on monitoring and surveillance of public health threats which can significantly impact the economic standing of the local tourism sector. At a recently held resensitization workshop, the stakeholders sought to improve the health, safety and security of locals and visitors, tourism resilience, reputation and economic sustainability through the regional program.
If we are interested in public health, then the important thing for us is to really look at the fact that we have more people visiting the Caribbean than people who actually live here. Tourism is our bread and butter, it's our economic viability, but we cannot ignore the fact that travelers can also promote disease spread. Our first case of Zika, our first case of chikungunya, the first case, the illness I just spoke about was norovirus. It all came in through a traveler.
The minister noted that as the Caribbean region continues to record an influx of visitors, it is imperative that tourism be sustained through constant scrutiny and a firm grip on the safety and security risks to the health of both the locals and visiting populations.
We cannot close our eyes to the realities of the world. It is riddled by illness and disease. So even as we implement strategies to boost our tourist industry, we must, and I emphasize, we must pay careful attention also to the health aspect.
The Tourism and Health Program was launched in 2017, and its overarching goal is to strengthen Guyana's capacity to respond to public health threats which can transcend national boundaries. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
Thanks, Delicia. The CPL playoffs begin today with the Amazon Warriors battling the Trinbago Knight Riders. Tomorrow, the St. Kitts Patriots will face the Jamaica Tallawahs. Here's the schedule along with your bridge and weather reports. You can also get updates on the games on our Facebook page and on Instagram at DPI Guyana. Goodbye.